nonprofit groups are often given several years in advance, so it's not like the people who funded them are directly connected to it, and it can cause some conflict, as we've seen.
This is really why I hate the
played a
news.
key role in Biden's success in 2020, and he is aiming to get their support again, although his handling of the Israel-Hamas war could threaten that. In Washington, I'm 𝚀𝚎𝚎𝚗𝚎
With chaos breaking out
Okay, so
on
the
some
parents are
campuses
getting
across the
involved
nation,
with
many
this
now feel
protest.
that they are entitled to some type of refund. According to an article published in the Wall Street Journal, parents paying tens of thousands of dollars every year to send their kids to college are upset with the school's response to the pro-Palestinian protests. As a result, some are contacting schools for a refund, while others are reconsidering whether or not they want to continue donating to that school. And part of the growing frustration is due to canceled commencement ceremonies, the most recent one happening at Columbia University in New York. Being given out, but we have seen donors pull their funding from schools across the entire country. That does include New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft, an alum of Columbia.
Here at the largest rescue efforts underway tonight across the state of
the MV Dolly. Salvage teams are currently analyzing the various hazards.
I truly
and
love this
obstacles resulting
news.
from
Shout
the
out
bridge's
to it.
collapse back in March. That includes crushed containers, hull damage, and weight shifts. Officials hope to have the ship removed by May 10th. The state plans to rebuild the bridge by the fall of 2028. Orders for new Airbus planes have been out to voter rolls and mail-in ballots filed in 2 battleground states. Today, the DNC filed briefs on behalf of the Biden re-election campaign in Michigan and Nevada. They argue the suits filed by the Republican National Committee are aimed at spreading distrust in the 2024 election. The RNC alleges the number of active voters in key counties in both states are suspiciously high. Flash to Capitol Hill, where Vermont progressive Senator Bernie Sanders, now looking to serve a 4th term in office. The 82-year-old announced he would be seeking re-election in November. Sanders also served 16 years in the House. This makes him the longest-serving independent member in Congress in U.S. history. A mystery worth thousands of dollars by 2 public restrooms in Ohio are now was discovered in 2 different public restrooms last week. More than 25,000 was found at a theater, and more than 12,000 was found at a KFC restaurant. Investigators believe the discoveries are related, but they don't know where the money came from.
2 times in 1 week, it's too similar to be a coincidence.
The money is not counterfeit and is in
I just
stacks
wanna
of
know.
5s, 10s, and 20s.
Would you have
According to the CDC, there
turned
were over
that money in, or would you
105,000
have
drug
kept it?
overdose deaths in the
Question
12-month
of the
period
night.
ending in November 2023. I'm back with Connor from the Fact Check team.
All 50 states and D.C. using 20 key metrics that cover a wide range of problems, including arrest and overdose rates, and found that based off of all those different metrics, overall, New Mexico, West Virginia, Nevada, D.C., and Colorado have the biggest drug issues, and then Hawaii, Utah, Nebraska, Florida, and Maryland have the smallest issues.
Which states have the most drug overdose deaths?
Yeah, so Wallet Hub found that West Virginia and D.C. tie for the most overdose deaths per capita. Nebraska had the least, and according to the CDC, synthetic opioids like fentanyl are a primary driver of these overdose deaths in the U.S.
As we look big picture, how did...
Download the app now. Scare report just out today now warning that the critical program will run out of money just over a decade's time. That is unless lawmakers there on Capitol Hill decide to act. But there was a glimmer of good news here in this report. An improving economy has now pushed back these so-called go broke days for both Medicare and Social Security. Social Security now expected to last through the beginning of 2035. That's 1 year later than what was reported last year. Medicare now expected to last through the year 2036. That's 5 years later than last year's projection. That's the federal government's health insurance program covering people 65 and older and people with severe disabilities or illnesses. Now, the go broke dates are sure to be a major talking point in this year's presidential campaign. Both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump have promised to protect the Endangered Entitlement Program.
Let's just
Time
see.
is ticking for Americans to get a real ID. Beginning May 7, 2025, you'll need a real ID, which is an enhanced license to board a domestic flight, cross a border, or enter a federal building. The move comes after the 9/11 attacks, when the federal government set new security standards to obtain a state-issued driver's license and ID card. Most designs have a star on the top right corner.
From store shelves. Next, right here at the live desk. Just 2 varieties of Planters nuts now facing a major recall. The FDA now says Hormel Foods has issued that voluntary recall Planters peanuts and mixed nuts over the possible contamination of the bacteria that causes listeria. Here are the 2 products in question now. 4-ounce packages of honey roasted peanuts and some cans of lightly salted mixed nuts. They were sold in stores across Florida, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Now, the peanuts have a best if used by date of April 11th of next year, 2025. The mixed nuts have a best by date of April 5th, 2026.
That's going to do it for us tonight.
In Wallace last Friday, police have arrested 2 people, 20-year-old Byron Gaines and 18-year-old LaMaya Bolden. They're both
I don't
charged
too
with
much
burglary,
look at
murder,
the
and are in
news,
jail without bond tonight.
but I
The shooting
guess I
happened
would just
on
put it
Bryce
on my
Street.
channel.
Investigators say the crime was not random and there's no danger to the public.
You know, I really don't. So I really don't get down with the news that much, but I felt like I guess you need to hear certain things, you know, about the news. Again, favorite news channel. I guess someone told me that you need to know what's going on in the world at least. So I guess that's what I'm doing tonight and sharing it with you. Okay? So, and by the way, Jim Jones got in a fight. It was on an escalator. And that poor old white dude, as they call him, he was knocked down. And I'm telling you, that's probably a lawsuit. But what I saw Jim Jones handling both of those dudes that were fighting him. So kudos goes to him, okay? All right, you guys, take it light.